Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of my Mega Haul videos for tonight. For those of you that missed the first part or haven't got to watch it yet, I found a dealer on Comic Collector Live that was going out of business, and he was selling everything at 75% off, so I got a lot of great Bronze Age, some Silver Age stuff. Had a great stack of Marvel, and I'm dividing them up into two, so this is the DC portion of that haul. I know most of you have seen this series, Man of Steel. It's when John Byrne revamped Superman right after Crisis on Infinite Earths. And I've already got this series, probably got 2 copies of each, but I actually bought this one for my son. I was telling him about it, and he never had got to read it. And he's a big comic fan. He's more of a trade paperback guy. He's not really into collecting old stuff. He just wants to sink his teeth into something and read the story. So he sounded like he was real interested in having this, and I got these probably 40 or 50 cents a piece. You know, they're all in very fine or better condition. Just kind of run through these real quick. Man of Steel #1. I kind of like John Byrne's Superman. I wasn't a big fan that they kind of retroed out the Superboy part of it and kind of made him like an invention of a Legion of Superheroes villain called the Time Trapper. He just created his own pocket universe with his own Superboy, and so that kind of destroyed, 25 or 30 years of continuity, and, Superboy didn't exist for a while. Of course, there's been so many revamps and so many reboots and so many Crisis and so many events. That's why I'm kind of soured on buying newer books. I'm getting a few new ones. But I just kind of, I guess I'm a dinosaur because I kind of miss the old days. I was really good with Marvel and DC up until, they started doing those events. And I think really kind of when DC started the New 52, my interest kind of started to wane for both companies as far as new books. A few good things came out. I'm not going to knock the whole line, but yeah, comics were better years ago, at least, from my viewpoint. There's #2. Lois Lane. This is a good story. #3, first meeting of Superman and Batman, post-Crisis. Great cover. #4, Lex Luthor. And the art on this is really good to have John Byrne and Dick Giordano did the inks. #5. And #6. Okay, here's another favorite title of mine from DC. Mystery in Space was a long-running book in the Silver Age, and it was canceled, and then they brought it back in the late 70s. And they ran for about 7 issues, I think. But there's some really good art and stories in these. I only got 2 issues, but I got like 3 of one of the issues just because I think they were like 40 cents each. But in really nice shape. Here's #116. And I really miss these anthology series like Mystery in Space and Strange Adventures and Time Warp. Probably from like 1979 or 80 was another really great book. This is actually a Jim Starlin cover, so Starlin did do a big piece of work for DC, but the stuff he did was really good. #116. And in probably my favorite issue of the later run, which only lasted 7 issues, #111. This is when they first started it back up. You got a spectacular Joe Kubert cover. And you have stories with Jim Aparo art, Marshall Rogers, Steve Ditko, Dan Spiegel. Just a great book. Every story in it, my opinion, very, very good. And since they were so cheap, I bought 3 copies. All high grade. And this next little stack, I guess you could call more of a modern age. But I had this story, and I don't know what happened to it. I think I have one issue of it left, but this was one of my favorite later Batman stories. I guess getting into the late 80s, early 90s. But when you had Alan Grant and Norm Breyfogle doing the writing and the art, and Norm Breyfogle I thought was like perfectly suited for Batman. He just had a kind of different style, but it really fit. And this is a 4-part story called The Mud Pack. It had Batman against all the Clayface villains. And really, like I say, these were like 50 cents each. So you can't go wrong there. All of them in good shape. But a really great story. Great art. There's part 1. Number 604. 605, number 2. 606, part 3. And 607, part 4. Okay. A few odds and ends. Upgraded all of my Tarzan 100 pages except one, and I got a couple issues that I was missing. And all these are really nice grade. You know, like I say, 75% off. There's Tarzan 248. It's one I had missing, I do believe. Really nice looking book. 243. More Joe Kubert wonderfulness. I love all the stuff Russ Manning did, and like all the people that did Tarzan later. You know, Buscema. I loved his run, but to me, the Tarzan artist is Joe Kubert. Like I say, I upgraded all my Tarzan 100 pages except one, and all these are like in very fine plus. And I think all these are either just $5 or $6 a piece. And a lot of these 100 pages in high grade are hard to find, so I just thought this was a great bargain. Number 234, part of the Lion Man story. I mean, the binding on this one looks really nice. Just maybe a couple wrinkles here and there. Really hard to find the 100 pages in great shape like that. Number 233. More Jungle Goodness, Wonder Dog, the Monkey Man, and the Tarzan and Lion Man. And like I said before, my earlier Tarzan video, Joe Kubert was adapting this straight from Edgar Rice Burroughs' stories. So just really, really nice stuff. Tarzan 232. Really nice shape. 231. Just very few blemishes on these. Really nice books. Into 230. Another nice copy. Colors look really nice. The binding's not great on this one, but it's no tears or anything, so nice book. Another one I didn't have, number 221. The only thing with this one, somebody wrote a number in pencil at the top. Other than that, looks really sharp. More Kubert greatness. And just a little mishmash of stuff to finish it out. There's Unexpected 142. Nick Carty cover. Pretty nice shape. Upgraded one of my Bronze Age Wonder Womans, one of my favorite issues. This is when she was going through the 12 labors. She had lost her powers, in the early 70s, and they kind of made her into a, for those of you that remember the old Avengers TV show with John Steed and Emma Peel, they kind of made her into an Emma Peel character, and she wore a white jumpsuit and had an Asian mentor, and he taught her martial arts. And when she got her powers back, she decided she should go through 12 labors before she would feel herself worthy to rejoin the Justice League. So, and each adventure she had, there was like a different Justice Leaguer, kind of monitoring the situation and reporting back. So this is number 218. Two stories in it, one narrated by the Phantom Stranger and the other by Red Tornado. Really cool book. My other copy looks like it's been wadded up. So, and this is one of our Army at War, Sergeant Rock, that I didn't have. And this was pretty beat up. I think I got it for $1, but I didn't have this one. I probably want to upgrade it later. But this is issue number 300. And you can tell this is it's been well chewed. Doesn't take away that it's a great comic, though. And speaking of Sergeant Rock, upgraded one of my DC Comics Presents. It's number 10. This is probably one of my top 3 or 4 stories in the whole run. The book ran like 97 issues. This is the equivalent to Brave and Bold, where Batman ended up teaming up with everyone. This one, Superman teams up with everybody. But this has got a great story. I think the issue prior to this, Superman had got knocked back in time by some kind of bomb, and he forgot who he was, so he ended up back in the 1940s, and he ended up in Easy Company. So people that love Superman, love Sergeant Rock, this is an excellent, excellent story. One of my favorites. Okay, last but not least, a World's Finest from the Silver Age, number 176, art and cover by Neil Adams. This is pretty decent shape, probably a VG. Got a few creases in it, but a really great cover. I've got this in a reprint, but this is I never did have the original, and I just love this cover. Just nothing complex, but kind of iconic. Superman, Batman, Supergirl, and Batgirl. Just really glad to have this one. Probably in a week or two, I'm going to be doing a kind of a little mini spotlight on some Neil Adams books. One of my holy grails is coming in the mail. So, guys, I appreciate you sticking around. And like I say, if you haven't checked out part 1 of this, go back and check it out. If you're a Marvel fan, I'm sure you'll enjoy it, especially Silver and Bronze Age fans. And I appreciate all your comments and any questions, and I'll do my best to answer. All right, guys, have a great week. Onward and upward.